Hi, this is the bad boy, Joey Janela, and you're listening to the Going in Raw podcast, because Joey Janela always goes in raw.
This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Going in Raw.
Hey everyone, Kenny Omega here. In case you didn't know, we have an awesome kick-butt show called Stephen Larson's Going in Raw, and they're going to be supporting AEW every week amongst many other things. Goodbye and smooch. Good night. Bye-bye.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson, and available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, a little notify bell next to it, to make sure you always get your new Going In Raw notifications.
Yeah, that's right.
We're also on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steven Larson. We have a variety of war tiers over there. Today, on bonus episode, we're not going to do an overrun like we sometimes do. We're trying things out a little bit different. So yesterday, we had a preview of sorts of Interdimension Tension 2. Us playing WWE 2K19, Fun Wrestler versus Steve W Wrestler versus the other thing. We book Raw. And then today, we went outside the scope of wrestling. I'm going to upload this after the show today. NBA 2K20.
Did you include all the games we played?
I did.
Thank you.
I did. I included, not going to spoil it.
No, I didn't either.
But I did. You get to see me fully annoyed, and Larson fully. We're both very competitive people, Larson.
Of course.
We're both very competitive people.
Of course.
It's pretty fun, though, isn't it?
No, it's a fun game.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
it was
fun.
the first time I ever played it, so
yeah.
I guess based on that, I should be pleased with the results.
I think you should be. Absolutely. And I got to play as... characters I didn't choose. Mm-hmm. So understandable from both points of view here.
That should be irrelevant. You actually played the game. I did not. It should be
Anyway.
a non-issue in that respect. It's not like I gave you a couple, like 3 lumps. You got like all-time greats.
All right.
No reason to complain, man.
Listen, come on, man. Spoilers here. We got a couple new patrons in. Ness and Martin Miller. Thanks so much for your support. You can check out that bonus episode later on today. Also, if you're a YouTube channel member, $5 gets you that bonus content Monday through Friday.
Correct.
It's really good stuff. So today, of course, we're talking about AEW.
Yeah.
We're starting to do also a short Who Won Wednesday night.
See, we decided that putting up 2 videos at the same time wasn't enough.
3. We'll just do 3.
Just
Why not
dump
do 3?
them all
Let's
out
do
there.
3.
You might get a notification for 1.
Maybe,
Who knows?
maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, you guys get to hear us bicker about who is better. AEW, NXT, week to week.
Have to be better. Just enjoy what you enjoy.
No, man. We're going to throw Power in there, too. Power was great. Power was probably my favorite wrestling this week, man.
Oh, yeah?
Thought it was
Still
terrific.
watch it. I don't have time to watch all of it.
It was great. Anyways, let's hop right into this. AEW, what'd you think about it in a nutshell?
It was a
Larson?
good show. I don't think it was quite as good as last week. It doesn't mean it was bad by any stretch of the imagination. Sure. I just felt like last week it was kind of the perfect bit of them interweaving various storylines together. This week things felt a bit more segmented. Mm-hmm. You know, basically all but one match I think was a tag match, which is fine because they were all fun.
But it's filler-ish.
Well, I mean, like the 2 tag matches. All but 2 matches. Sorry, were tag matches. The main event and the women's title match were obviously not. 2 of the 3 tag matches were for the tag title tournament. It's not filler. Mm-hmm. The only filler match is probably the squash match. I understand the point of it. I didn't feel like the Mox Pac versus Omega Page match was filler by a stretch of the imagination.
No, that had a heavy plot point.
Yes.
Sure.
So I mean, I don't feel like there was a ton of filler on the show. Maybe the Jurassic Express versus Lucha Brothers match was a bit long, but it was still fun. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really feel like there's a whole lot of filler on it.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I misspoke. I don't think it's filler necessarily. You have to have a middle act. You have to have things that happen between the beginning and the end. But when you have that many 2 of the tag matches were actually part of the tournament.
Yeah.
And then you had like the Hangman and Omega thing versus Mox and Pac. Yeah, so I don't know, maybe just the optics of having 3 tag matches, 1 woman's match, which was a decent match.
Yeah.
And then the title match, which I thought was a lot of fun because Darby Allin can do no wrong in my view.
Yeah.
So no, I thought AEW was fun. I echo all the same sentiments as you. I brought this up in the Who Won Wednesday bit too. I thought that the one thing, and I know you and I are going to differ on this, but I think that the one thing that they don't do, which is kind of surprising to me, is more of we saw the Cody segment that talked about him being completely focused on Jericho, and JR illustrated the point that Jericho got to focus on Jericho and beating Cody. That's all he had to focus on. Cody's got a lot going on.
A lot of business stuff.
That was really, really well done.
Yeah, it was good.
I just think that number one, I think maybe you air that next week because they were completely looking over Darby Allin, and they didn't build him up at all during the episode, leading into that huge match for him against Jericho. I thought that was a bit of a misfire. Have the Cody thing next week after you know that Darby Allin has lost the match against Jericho. And then on top of that, I thought that, they've got a lot of people who aren't getting TV time, and that's one thing NXT is pretty decent at. Sorry, not to be comparing and contrasting, but that's what I'm going to do right now, is the backstage segments or video packages. I think that you can fit a bunch of people in, even if it's just for, milling about in the background or doing something smaller. I think that the one thing that really brought Being the Elite, the YouTube show, its popularity was the great chemistry between the Elite, SCU, all those guys. You got to see, that's the thing that everybody loved was how much chemistry they had and all their interactions. And we get none of that on AEW Dynamite. I feel like that is something that sort of brought you to the dance, along with the great wrestling. But that's something that really people latched onto, the characters. And I think that they could really use a little bit more of that in the AEW broadcast.
I wonder if part of it, too, is they don't want to be seen as carbon copies of WWE with a heavy emphasis on angles and backstage stuff.
Sure, yeah.
And the Elite, granted, they all worked for Ring of Honor at various points, but they all became huge stars in New Japan. Mm-hmm. And how they present the storytelling aspect of their particular brand of wrestling is very reminiscent of New Japan, where a lot of the stories are being told in the ring. And they don't have the benefit, obviously, of the backstage stuff, the press conferences, which New Japan does, and very often leads to great bits and some opportunities for character development. And I just looked at All Elite Wrestling's YouTube page to see if they had anything kind of analogous to it. Mm-hmm. There is a Darby Allin promo on there leading up to his match last night. There's a Jericho promo. There's other additional stuff. I wonder if they just feel like, okay, and maybe the fault isn't so much not having as much backstage stuff, but they don't do enough to promote all the ancillary stuff they do outside of AEW Dark. Like they don't promote Road 2. They don't even promote their own YouTube page very much. So if they want to use these other outlets to build their brand outside of just a television deal and enhance the stories being told in ring with promos and vignettes and yada yada on various other platforms, they need to do at least a little bit of promotion.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a problem with the way they're telling stories in the ring now. I understand your point. Like, hey, maybe do a hype package for Awesome Kong or something. Mm-hmm. Maybe they will as they start implementing whatever stories they have in mind for her. Mm-hmm. The characters they're focusing on right now are all relatively well established. Like I know who Kenny Omega is, and so the story beats that play out in the ring resonate because I know who Kenny is, I know who Mox is, I know who Pac is, I know who Cody and all the major players are already. I don't need them on the mic every week dropping a promo. I know who they are.
Yeah.
Not to say that they couldn't expound.
I'll just say this: it'll be interesting to see if they do start implementing a little bit more of that as they use more of the roster going down the line. I think it would strengthen the show to give us a little bits of the best of moments from Being the Elite, where it would enhance the story being told on TV, because right now that's what I watch. I didn't even watch Dark this week. I hear that it's pretty great, and I'll probably watch it maybe this weekend.
Apparently that Omega match is something else.
Yeah, I hear it's
Omega
great.
and Janela match,
But no, I mean it's only week 3. It's a week. It's a work in progress. I think it's pretty stellar TV, regardless. But nothing. It's not always going to be perfect.
Another thing, and Bailey here brings this up in chat, is they launched their TV product with only a month build to their next pay-per-view, and so that might kind of explain why they're hyper-focused on a very select cast of characters right now.
Yeah.
Because everybody that's getting a lot of airtime, of course, has matches going down at Full Gear in less than a month. Post Full Gear, you got to think they got about 3 months to build to the next show, in which case we might see more people brought into the narrative fabric that they got going on right now.
Yeah.
I would guess.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Kelly88 here, Super Chat says, was I the only one who didn't know Santana and Ortiz was from New York? I thought they were from LA because they were called LAX. My mind is blown. I'm confused. Lol. That is actually a very good point. I don't know if I knew they were from New York. If somebody had said, hey, Steve, quick, where are they from? I'd be like, LA. LAX. I know they were latecomers to LAX. They weren't original LAX guys.
I mean, LAX, the initials for the wrestling faction LAX had nothing to do with the airport in Los Angeles either.
Right. But what's the first thing you think when you hear LAX?
Yeah, I think of one of the worst airports I've had the displeasure of going to.
Exactly. The real Prince Fingal Babbitt says, really enjoying the AEW tag team stuff. At the moment, could have a few more story/promo beats, though, through the show, but they were doing some good in-ring storytelling. Nick C says, to answer your question in the title, we did. What is the title of... I don't know what the title is. Maybe Nick can expand on that. Anyways, let's hop right into this, Larson.
Oh.
What happened
saying
first?
The title of this particular stream is Who Won Wednesday. He's saying, we did. The fans.
We're the fans.
Won
That's
Wednesday.
right. Nick won. We won. We all won.
Exactly. We're getting some great wrestling, and that's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. So the show kicked off with what was supposed to be, I guess it ended up still being, a quarterfinal match. Yes. For the tag team tournament between SCU and Best Friends. Before the match even gets started, as Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels walking down the ring, they are attacked viciously by the Lucha Brothers. And it culminated in Pentagon Jr. dropping Christopher Daniels, the package pile driver, around the metal part of the ramp.
Boy, they replayed that. Man, his head, ouch.
Yeah, it looked like that probably hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
And then Phoenix looks like he's about to hit a move on Frankie. Scorpio Sky runs down, makes the save. Medics attend to Christopher Daniels. They take him out of the arena, and then Scorpio Sky goes up to the ref. He's like, I can sub in. I'll do it right now. I mean, he's in street clothes. He's just in jeans and some Adidas and a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll sub in for Chris right now.
I sort of turned my head for a second while all the scrum was going down. And when I saw him saying, hey, I'm going to sub in now, I was like, wait, did they just take out Kazarian and Daniels, and he's just going to take them on by
I thought
himself?
about that for a second, too, because I didn't see...
That would have been awesome.
I didn't see Frankie anywhere.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. He disappeared for a second.
It's kind of if this is kind of like the beginning of a potential singles push, you wouldn't think, why is Scorpio Sky getting a singles push subbing in for Christopher Daniels in a tag team match? Like, he's the guy who saved the day for SCU.
He needs a singles push.
Oh,
man.
definitely.
Yeah, he's terrific.
He's so good.
He's
so good on the mic.
He's so flipping good.
He's awesome
and
in the
that's
ring.
That's how you make a single.
He wrestled
star,
half
man.
this match with one shoe on.
I know. It was great.
That's something else. So anyways, so he finds some tape ringside, takes his shirt off, starts taping up his wrists, and he's going to wrestle the match in jeans and some Adidas. Match begins. Pretty quickly, Chuck takes off one of Scorpio Sky's shoes, tosses it, and starts biting on his foot. That was great. It was interesting that they had Best Friends kind of wrestle heel in this match because, well, for one, Chuck lives in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He came out with a Ben Simmons jersey on.
Yeah.
And then they're the Best Friends are the ones who are kind of doing the more heelish tactics.
Yeah, that is something that definitely is a convention I've noticed they've used. Last week we saw this with the Young Bucks. They were wrestling. They're not like heels, but they wrestle. Whenever they go into a match, everybody definitely has. And this is part of storytelling in the ring. Everybody has a role to play.
Yeah.
And that was the Best Friends this week.
And so later on, Kazarian fights off a superplex attempt, but then Best Friends ended up hitting like a doomsday superplex. That was pretty cool.
That was neat.
That was great. So Kazarian's in there getting beat up. He eventually escapes his situation, gets the hot tag to Scorpio Sky. He clears the ring. He goes for a pescado. Chuck punches him right in the gut, I think. And then Chuck goes for a tope on Scorpio Sky, and then Scorpio Sky pushes Trent in front of him instead. Trent eats the tope. And then Kazarian hits a Hurricane Run off the apron on the Chuck. And then Scorpio Sky gets back in the ring, hits a tope on both the Best Friends. That was great. Best Friends go for a hug. Scorpio Sky breaks it up. The one moment SCU got some heel heat.
Yeah.
But it was all right because eventually Best Friends would get the hug in after they tossed Scorpio Sky from the ring. And then Best Friends hit a Doomsday knee on Kazarian, only gets a 2. In the end, though, SCU gets the win. Kazarian, powerbomb, Scorpio Sky, drop kick right as kind of at impact, pick up the win. They advance. They'll be taking on Dark Order next week in the semifinals.
Yeah, the finish was a tad messy. Like the drop kick,
the timing was a
little
bit
bit
off.
late.
Yeah,
but that's a quibble. I thought
Yeah.
this was a terrific match. I thought Kazarian selling the injury, the Lucha Brothers attack prior to the match, I thought was terrific. It really,
this is a match that really built up steam as it went
really
along,
did.
too.
Yeah, they're terrific storytellers in the ring.
So we got.
It's also very refreshing just to see pile drivers.
I know. Yeah. Chuck employed
Yeah.
a pile driver. I know. So we get SCU, the obvious face, is taking on Dark Order next week in one semifinal match.
You'd think going into this match that obviously, the story of SCU going into this match, Scorpio Sky having to sub in, maybe he's not ready, wrestling with his shoe. I think that's going to come up to catch him next week against the Dark Order, which are supposed to be heavier heavies.
I wonder if especially this post-match or pre-match beatdown was to put the thought in your mind, maybe we'll get SCU Lucha Brothers final. I think that's going to they'll feud separately outside the tag team tournament. The final's probably going to be Dark Order versus Private Party.
Oh, yeah.
How cool would that be if Private Party ends up winning this tournament?
It'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty awesome.
I kind of feel like they've set this up from the beginning to have Dark Order win.
I think you're right. They really want Dark Order to get.
But
Maybe they have time. Maybe they'll tell the story in the ring.
Maybe.
And we'll be on board with the Dark Order as
that's
big
like
bads.
the one real creative blunder AEW has made thus far is Dark Order.
I still think it's Hangman.
I understand that, but I feel like that's kind of more of a low-key thing. Like people who are familiar with the Elite know who Hangman is, so it's not that I understand your point from an outside observer. I get it.
Here's the Dark Order. It's like, here's the thing. Hangman still does amazing things, and the people still obviously love him.
Yeah.
Dark Order is just cheesy.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody's really latched on to the Dark Order in the way that they want it to be. They want people to be freaked out by it.
Be like the Wyatts, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. It really hasn't panned out.
Yeah. Before we continue, Marsh88 with a big super chat. Thanks so much for your support.
Thank
He
you
says,
so much.
Been watching you guys since my freshman year in college. Finally caught you guys live. Thanks for the years of entertainment. Lee Dijak 4 was amazed. We'll talk about that on the NXT review.
Yeah.
And Stone Cold John Moxley is such a great tweener. This is the Moxley that we didn't get in WWE, man.
I know.
And it's absolutely terrific. We do have some business to take care of, Larson.
Yeah.
That's right. Before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, Mack Weldon. Mack Weldon is a premium men's essentials brand that believes in smart design, premium fabrics, and a simple shopping experience.
Yeah, Mack Weldon's underwear, socks, shirts, shorts, hoodies, and sweatpants will be the most comfortable you will ever wear. And they have a line of silver underwear and shirts that are naturally antimicrobial. You know what that means?
Yes.
What?
They eliminate
odor.
It says it right here.
I know.
You see, Mack Weldon wants you to be comfy. So if you don't like your first pair, you can keep it, and they'll still offer you a refund. No questions asked.
Yeah, I got one of Mack Weldon's shirts, the Pima to be exact, and I love it. Super comfortable, but it's still stylish enough where I can wear out. I can wear to work, but it's also great to wear when the clock strikes. Game's the clock.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm on my way to the gym. It's by far the most versatile shirt I have in my wardrobe.
You're going to throw some weights around.
Yeah, man. Comfy shirt to toss some weight.
Yeah, I got me some Mack Weldon stuff as well, Larson. I especially like the underwear, and the whole ordering process was easy, and everything was shipped directly to my door. And right now, friendos can get 20% off their first order by going to MackWeldon.com and using promo code GOINGINRAW, all one word.
Again, that's 20% off your first order by going to MackWeldon.com and using promo code GOINGINRAW, all one word. Thanks to Mack Weldon for sponsoring today's show, and you're really helping out Going In Raw by going to MackWeldon.com and using the promo code Going In Raw, all one word. Next, there's a commercial break, but picture in picture, we get Santana and Ortiz. They're just walking through the backstage area, acting like kind of scary.
Yeah.
Tough and scary.
Yeah. Who is it? Ortiz with his...
Yeah.
Doing the tongue thing.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Anyways, after that, we had, like we mentioned this a little bit, the squash match, Reynolds and Silver versus Santana and Ortiz. I wonder if at any point they're just going to call them, because their theme music has the phrase
Proud
and powerful.
T-shirts have that on there.
T-shirts, the Tron.
I mean, I feel like Santana Ortiz is a better name.
Rolls off the tongue very easily. Not proud and powerful.
Too much.
Yeah, or PNP. That just sounds weird.
Yeah.
I don't like that either. Sounds urinary.
I know. Why not XLAX?
X-Lax, man.
I know.
That's the way to go. That look good on a shirt.
That would look good on a shirt.
Anyways.
Yeah, all sorts of parody options here, too.
Yes, you do.
Anyways, expect the
Wrestlers
results.
love their parody shirts.
Yes, that they do. Expect the results. Santana Ortiz win with their finish. And then Jericho pops up on the Tron as Santana Ortiz are making the way up the ramp and says they want to take on the Young Bucks at Full Gear.
Yeah.
Challenge issued, and I'm sure will be accepted.
Meanwhile, they had a weird time figuring out how much mic you want to put on Ortiz, who just kept on yelling. I think maybe they were both yelling, the best, we're the best, we're the best. And Jericho talking on the Tron, and they were like, sheer one and the other.
Riding the sliders on the mixing board,
Yeah, let's hear what they have to say. Oh, they're saying the same thing. Let's hear what Jericho has to say. Yeah. So, yeah, evidently we're getting that match at Full Gear. That's
that'd
cool.
be solid.
That's good.
I mean, the card for Full Gear is shaping up to be pretty good. And you get Cody and Jericho, Mox and Omega. The finals for the tag tournament are happening in Charleston on the 30th, I think. Yeah, 30th. So you have Young Bucks, XLAX, maybe even SCU and Lucha Brothers. Mm-hmm. And then for sure a women's title match, I would suspect. Mm-hmm. That's 5 really good matches.
Yep.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be solid.
Next, a really well done video package about Cody. Kicks off. He's at home. Brandy's going over their schedule and their schedule book, and he's zoning out. His mind is focused.
Man, do you ever wear like super formal attire,
Never.
like business attire at home?
No.
Well, why isn't Cody just chilling in his sweatpants, man?
I don't know, man. Yeah. That's his thing. He likes wearing suits all the time.
I
mean, he's well dressed, man. He's got some great looking
good
gear.
Good looking dude. I'm just saying, Let's see you.
Maybe if I had the budget for a fancy wardrobe, I'd wear that stuff more often.
I just wear like really expensive sweatpants. Who am I kidding? I'd still go to Walmart.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, it was a really, really well done vignette. They had interviews with like JR, Brandy,
DDP,
and DDP. And I mentioned this before. They talked about how Cody is. When he has a match coming up, they kind of just lose him. And JR was saying, when Cody shows up to a pay-per-view, he's just coming out of probably endless meetings. He's got spreadsheets, HR concerns. And on top of that, he's got to focus on trying to win the world title. Mm-hmm. With Jericho, when he shows up, he's got to worry about two things. One, winning, keeping his title, and maybe a little bit of the bubbly as well.
Yeah, but one would have to lead to the other.
Correct. And I thought it was a really well done thing. I like the shot of Cody just laying there,
floating in the pool,
floating in his pool. That was
it was cool.
So yeah, that was good.
It was almost like a sensory deprivation thing.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah,
because that's what you do in those things. You just float in water, and it's completely dark.
Aren't they? I thought that those. I
think they're enclosed, but
yeah.
I think they're supposed to be a little more claustrophobic.
He just has his little spa in like his house, and he turns out the lights.
And then they turn like a black light on.
Yeah, he's like, it's the same thing. Like, no, it's actually it's the same thing.
No, you're completely missing the sense of claustrophobia you'd have in a real sensory deprivation tank.
Right.
Next, women's title match. Britt Baker, the challenger, taking on the champion, Riho. Riho is super over.
Yeah, she's awesome. That's why.
She's great. Yeah,
she's great.
Yeah, she is great. Mm-hmm. This match was solid. Early on, Britt goes for her finisher, Lockjaw. I like that as Rings of Saturn plus Mandible Claw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Way to incorporate her gimmick into her moveset. Riho gets the ropes. Riho hits the top rope crossbody. Britt rolls through with a pin. Riho matrixes out. She goes up top for a double stomp. Britt gets out of the way. Hits a nasty looking sling blade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That one had some stank on it.
The sling blade looked good.
Yeah, Britt hits a backpack stunner. Follows with a basement drop kick. Only gets a 2 count though. Riho goes for a roll up. Britt blocks it. Hits swinging neck breaker. Super kick. Again, only gets a 2. Riho puts Britt in a single leg crab. Britt gets the ropes. Riho apparently teleported to the top rope. Mm-hmm. She got from single leg crab position to the top rope seemingly instantaneously.
Yeah, pretty quick.
Hits a double stomp off the top rope. Only gets a 2 count though. Then Riho hits double knees to Britt's back. Britt kicks out of that. Riho sets up for double knees to the front of Britt. Britt avoids it. Puts Riho in lockjaw. And then they actually did it was a good close-up shot of Britt trying to force her hand into Riho's mouth.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And Riho trying to, keep her jaw clenched to keep the hand out. And then Riho rolls back, rolls up Britt for the win. As I said, the crowd was super into it, especially all the false finishes towards the end.
Yeah.
And afterwards, Britt, she's upset, but she extends her hand. Riho shakes it.
Being somebody who's so averse to germs as you are, Mandible Claw, is that like on your list of top 5 finishers you wouldn't want to take?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I mean, there's like a bunch of power moves, and then some dude sticking his freaking fingers down.
I mean, I probably like this the stink face.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
number one. I don't really want to have anybody's posterior shoved in my face.
That's a good point. In terms of germaphobe moves,
Tops. Stink face number
gotta
one.
be tops. Yeah. What about what is it? The dude? What is it? The one where your head is basically at the
the
tank?
dude buster?
The dude buster, and then the tank comes crashing down.
I mean, at least there's layers of fabric in between. It's
Yeah.
still not ideal because it gets sweaty down there. But no, stink face when you literally seemingly have.
What if it's a dude buster but done by Rikishi?
Yeah,
Because at least with a stink face, you can do this.
maybe
With the dude buster, you got the crack
I mean,
coming at your face.
Even then, if you turn your head to the side, you're still getting butt cheeks rubbed all over your face, man. There's no escaping someone getting butt cheeks rubbed in your face.
That's true, man. Anyways, after that we had Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt. So is JR just trolling now at this point? Because I've heard people say, dude, his name is just Jungle Boy. Stop calling him Jungle Boy Jack or Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
Or Jungle Jack Perry. We did say that too. It's a bummer. Apparently, Luchasaurus got hurt.
This might be out for a while.
Tore hamstring. That's what I saw.
Yeah, that might be a while.
That sucks.
That does suck.
So if this was not the original matchup and they put this match together real quick, that's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, I wonder if if Marco Stunt, if that's just, everybody just knows that's the kind of match you're gonna have. So you're right. It was very creative. It was very, I don't want to take anything away from it. It was very creative.
Yeah, but I mean, apart from the time they obviously had to kill during a commercial break,
Sure, yeah.
it was fun. They were doing interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Marco was finding opportunities to get his offense in.
Anytime, yeah, there was a bit where I think it was Penta threw him towards I'm sorry, the Phoenix threw him at Penta and then he just turned into a DDT.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. It's so
that's
good.
Yeah. I love that spot where Penta has Marco above his head in the press.
Yeah.
And then just brings an arm down.
He's
and just holding him up there with one hand.
arm,
I know Marco is
no,
pressing
but
down
it
with
was
his,
cool.
And then throws him at Ray Phoenix, and Phoenix super kicks him. Or then when he's grabbing Marco by the hair and swinging him around the ring half a dozen times.
Oh, it's terrific.
The way they were finding creative ways to toss Marco Stunt around the ring.
Yeah.
Because we've seen him take those huge bumps, like getting powerbombed down the ring and stuff like that. But they were trying to be a little creative about it.
Yeah.
You mentioned that DDT, and I think that spot happened pretty early because Marco and Jungle Boy were both just doling out DDTs. And they both followed up a couple aerial moves. And then they did this really cool bit where Jungle Boy kind of has Marco in powerbomb position, flings him up. Marco does a splash, and right as Marco's impacting, Jungle Boy hits a leg drop too. That was cool. It was a really interesting,
cool,
creative spot. Eventually, the Pentagon gets control of the match. A couple super kicks, tags in Ray Phoenix. They have the upper hand for the most part. Penta hits a pump handle driver on Marco Stunt, and he was holding him up there for seemingly forever. Gets a 2 count. And then during the commercials, this pretty much Lucha Brothers beating the heck out of Marco Stunt.
Yeah.
And then the press slam part, which is insane. Marco, though, does come back, hits a knee, gets the tag to Jungle Boy. Eventually, Marco's back in, hits a 450, and then Jungle Boy hits a shooting star press on Ray Phoenix. Phoenix kicks out. That was really the last gasp of their offense, because in the end, Penta breaks Marco Stunt's arm, follows the package pile driver with double stomp from Phoenix for the win. They advance. They'll be taking on Private Party next week. Entirely possible that SCU gets involved, helps Private Party win.
Could be. Yeah.
At this rate, I'd just be really surprised if the Brothers advance.
Yeah, me too.
It seems the point of this tag tournament
obvious.
is to put the titles on an up and coming team to begin with.
Yeah. Yep.
And hopefully that up and coming team is Private Party.
Yeah. I think it's going to be the Dark. I mean, it'd be just nuclear heat if Dark Order.
Oh, I know.
I mean, I think that's what they want.
I just don't know if it's the
Private Party.
right kind of. It's like go away heat already.
Oh no, man! I think if what have I said? One match. And
one
know
match
how
can
good
do
Private
it.
Party
yeah,
is.
they're outstanding.
And if they're on the verge, and then you get those weird like little gimp guys like rolling at them and stuff.
And every time their minions have come out and interfered, people are like, ugh.
Well,
Really?
We'll see.
It's not like, damn you, Dark Order. Really?
Yeah, could be.
Oh, anyways, next. Oh, this was tons of fun. Pac, and Mox taking on Paige and Omega.
Yeah,
This was great.
this was really good stuff.
So before the match, Mox had a brief promo. He's sitting in the empty arena saying, you tried to write me off after one injury. Kenny, don't write me off.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to
What did he say?
rip off your head or something like that.
Something like
It was very graphic.
Yeah.
Very violent language he used. So they're all four of them in the ring. Like Kenny he wants to get his hands on Mox. Eventually does. They start. Pac tags himself in.
Why do you insist on saying the wrong?
Because what I'm used to saying. Kenny hits the Kataro Crusher on him. Pac pushes Kenny into his own corner. Mox tags himself in. So it was the thing where like Mox and Pac weren't exactly on the same page, but they worked really well together.
Well, there were a couple moments of camaraderie.
Yeah.
You know, when Pac did something, I forget what it was, that Moxley approved of. He, gave him a pat on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Well done, you.
But in terms of the tag situation, it wasn't like they were tagging each other in and out.
No.
With a strategy in mind.
No.
They just both want to get in and get their hands on whoever's in the ring.
they were in Philly, so there was a great CZW chant for Moxley when he came out too, and he did this. He was like, "I love CZW."
Yeah.
I'm
He put a picture up on Twitter of him and somebody else outside the old ECW arena.
Oh, cool.
Oh, did you see that Mike Quackenbush was at the show?
I did. Yes, I
That's
did.
interesting, considering that he
yeah.
has done some training work at the PC before.
Yeah.
Interesting days we live in. Kenny, though, tags in Adam Page. He goes on a rampage. Clears house.
That's good.
Nah. Eventually, he sends Mox to the floor, goes to the top for a moonsault. Pac comes over, distracts him and the ref.
He gets up to the top and he just sort of zones out.
I know. And then Mox pushes him off the top rope right to the corner of the apron.
Yeah, dude, they need to stop doing that.
Man, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they're gonna kill themselves.
Yeah, probably. And then Kenny gets in. He just starts dropping everybody with Snapdragon suplexes.
That was awesome.
Just everybody.
Yeah.
Hits his Terminator tope on Pac. Mox follows with a suicide dive, and then
You know,
Page
man.
finally gets that moonsault in.
So later on, we see a Darby Allin suicide dive. That's just and he's light. He can do it. He puts everything.
It was like a
It's
Ray
like a
Phoenix
shotgun
at
blast.
Triple Mania,
And Ray Phoenix had a suicide.
and we didn't even get to see it.
I know, but you saw him. You saw the
Launch
jump
through the
out,
ropes,
the
I
launch,
know, but you didn't see
and
him
it is
do-
a launch.
Yeah, no, you didn't see him do the half spin. Like,
Remember the last suicide dive we saw Ambrose do in WWE, and how
Yeah.
phoned it is? That's just how it is. This wasn't no different.
No.
This wasn't no different.
not really.
That's just his suicide dives. They're just underwhelming.
Yeah. Well, he's not as athletic as Darby.
Oh
Allin
no,
or
I
Ray
wouldn't
Phoenix,
suggest.
so-
I don't think we can get the same thing.
No. I mean, I'm sure he's going at not the WWE one, but the one last night. That was the closest he can get to reckless abandon as he can.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
later on, Adam Page had a hell of a suicide dive that basically put Pac through the barricade.
Yeah, and it's terrific.
It's fantastic.
Maybe if you see everybody else doing these great ones, and yours look like
Again, Page is just a better athlete than Mox is, man.
maybe just take it out of your repertoire. Do something different.
Maybe there's something else he can do. Is there a way you can do a suicide dive but feet first instead?
There, yeah.
Like somehow find a way. Now I'm not talking about a drop kick where you kind of swing through
Yeah,
the
do
ropes.
the swing through the
no,
ropes.
no, I'm talking about actually run and then launch yourself feet first through the ropes.
We've just said he's not like if you're an athlete like Phoenix, maybe. Mox, I just feel like that's.
I feel like
not
he
gonna
should
work.
try it though. Anyways, Page hits his moonsault, and then we get a flurry of offense from the Elite. Page goes for a cover on Pac. Mox breaks it up. And then Kenny just destroys Mox with the V trigger, and he just like goes limp against the rope.
Yeah, it was great.
It was outstanding. He kind of rolls out. Pac drops Kenny with with a springboard cutter. Page sends Pac outside and follows that suicide dive, which was amazing. So we're just down to Kenny and Mox. They have this great exchange where they're trading blows, and then finally they get out of the ring, opposite sides of the ring. They get their respective weapons. Kenny with the barbed wire broom, Mox with the barbed wire bat. And at first, the ref tries to get in the way, and Mox gets in the ref's face, and the ref's like, all right.
Yeah, he leaves the ring.
Like,
all
have
right,
at it.
Is what it is.
This is what it is. I'm not getting involved in this.
Yeah.
And this
My
part,
name's Bennett.
and this moment was great. I love this.
This was awesome. This was really good.
So Mox hits Kenny in the gut with the bat. And he's about to take a swing at him. Pac comes in, tosses the broom, tosses the bat, and gets in Mox's face.
Yeah.
And commentary is really doing a hell of a job selling it,
Yeah.
saying Pac does not want to be DQ'd. Why? Wins and losses matter.
Yeah, and he starts saying, "What are you doing?" Like,
Think
Pac
about it.
He's like, "Think about it. You're being stupid right now. Be smart."
Yeah.
It was a great. Yeah, it was really good.
Moments like that of in-ring storytelling, I love. We don't get that enough in WWE. I don't
That's
feel
true.
like.
That's true.
So we don't get them at all, just not enough. Mox, he doesn't care about that. Hits what do you call it, paradigm shift?
Well, at first he gives him a double middle finger.
Yeah.
And then he hits Death Rider. He's called Death
Paradigm
Rider.
shift. Death Rider, for the sake of taking notes, is easier. It's shorter words.
Just use that. It's
All right,
okay.
Death Rider. And then he
We're
leaves.
not beholden to New Japan and their trademarks and AEW and their
I know,
trademarks.
this is an AEW show and be consistent with what they call the moves. So people
Yeah,
understand what it is.
I know.
Because people might not watch New Japan. They watch AEW. And it's like, what the hell's a Death Rider? They call it Paradigm Shift. What are these idiots talking about? Anyways, hits Paradigm Shift on Pac. He leaves. Then Page hits Buckshot Lariat. Kenny hits another nasty-looking V-trigger. And they're all nasty-looking. He just somehow can make it look like
Yeah,
he's
I
tearing
know.
somebody's head off every
I
time he
know.
does it. And then Page pins Pac after hitting Deadeye. Really fun match.
Yeah.
Some good story beats going on between all of them. And it was later on it's announced that next week we're going to get Mox versus Pac. That should be a hell of a match.
Pac. Mox versus Pac.
Pac.
That should be good.
And then finally, and also next week, it shows in Pittsburgh, so they're having some sort of segment or match with Britt Baker. She's from Pittsburgh, and the semifinals. Let's talk about this now. I guess we kind of did already, though. Semifinals for this tag tournament. I'm of the belief that we're going to get a private party Dark Order final. Do you disagree with that whatsoever?
No, I think you're right.
All right.
I think
Good,
you're right
good
about
conversation.
that. I think SCU is like they pulled out the gutsy win this week.
Yeah.
But it's going to catch up to them when they have a stronger opponent. Best friends are booked into the ground. What's their win loss now? Have they won a match?
Yeah,
Have
yeah,
they?
yeah.
You got to bring in Reynolds and Silvers for these guys. Got to wheel those guys out, man.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you about Pac versus Mox next week.
Yeah.
That's got to end in a. That's got to end in a scrub, right?
They don't do scrub finishes, man. Not to say Kenny, like, there won't be a ref bump. Kenny won't come out and destroy Mox with the one-winged angel, allow Pac to get the win or something like that.
Well, that's kind of what I mean by a scrub.
Oh,
finish.
yeah. There's
Nobody's going to look strong coming out of this, really. They're both going to be, and that's what I'm sort of like torn. Like one thing that I think NXT in its first couple of weeks was doing was load like these takeover level matches, and I just want them to get to take. I want them to start building the takeover.
I know.
So you don't have. And I kind of want, like, you got Pac versus Mox next week. It's probably going to end, like you said, with Omega getting involved. I mean, the match for Full Gear. Does Pac have a match for Full Gear?
I won't be surprised.
Add him in.
I won't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being Pac versus Page though, because their match last weekend had a kind of a wonky finish because Pac kicked him in
that's
the
true
front
too.
area.
That's true too. Yeah, I just want them to pace out these big matches.
Oh, I know.
Pac versus Mox. That's a money match.
Yeah, that could be a pay-per-view match.
But it could also lead to, it's probably going to be Pac versus Hangman. That's going to be good stuff. And then we had our main event, Darby Allin versus Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
And this was, obviously Darby Allin, the guy who looks like he's, 120 pounds. But he'll do anything. He's crazy. And Chris Jericho, street fight rules.
Philadelphia. Well, they still had rope breaks though, which there shouldn't be rope breaks in the street fight.
They did have. Yeah, they
a couple
did have,
of them.
That's right.
Yeah.
So anyways, Darby Allin starts out fast. I think he started with wasn't like a shotgun drop kick he started out with?
Yeah, he started out fast, some ground and pound, hits the suicide dive. He gets back in the ring after tossing Jericho back in. Jericho takes control. He's in control for a while. Eventually, though, Darby makes a comeback, hits a sunset bomb, gets a 2. Pretty much as soon as Jericho kicks out, though, he's right back in control. And they frame the story of the match early on, whereas, Darby had the speed and quickness advantage. Jericho had the strength and experience advantage.
Yes.
This spot was nasty looking. Jericho tosses Darby Allin towards the ring post, but instead of hitting the ring post like with the shoulder, like they do in WWE, he just flung himself completely out of the ring and started selling knee. Come back from commercial, and Jericho has materialized a kendo stick, starts beating up Darby Allin with it. Eventually, though, Darby avoids a shot, makes a comeback, hits a crossbody, gets a 2, and then Jericho just hits a code breaker right away out of the kick out. Then Darby grabs the rope, bottom rope. Jericho goes out, gets a chair, takes it to Darby. He sets up the chair in the corner, puts up Darby in a lawn dart position. Darby reverses it into a stunner. And then shortly thereafter, Jericho puts Darby in the walls of Jericho. Darby Allin gets the ropes. But it's going to be a rope break street fight.
Yeah, I know.
After that, Jericho goes down, gets some tape, tapes Darby's hands together, and then Jericho starts punching him and tossing him around the ring, all over the place. And then Darby avoids a shot from Jericho, hits essentially a line saw, but with no hands.
Yeah.
Gets a 2, and then lays out Jericho with that crazy suicide dive where he jumps through the ropes and does like a half a rotation.
That was rad.
So like he does suicide dive into like a senton.
Yeah. That moonsault, I don't want to understand that. That moonsault was freaking great too.
Yeah.
The handless moonsault, that was awesome.
And then Jericho's back in the ring. Darby hits this crazy corks. I don't even know how he gets to the top rope with no hands. How do you balance like that?
Oh man,
that's crazy. Hits
He's so light.
Corkscrew moon splash, gets a 2. And then Darby Allin's skateboard is just hanging out in the corner of the entire match. Jericho gets it and then power bombs Darby Allin right on top of it. Darby kicks out.
Yeah.
And then Jericho gets the chair, takes the swing at Darby. He avoids, drop kicks Jericho with the chair up in his face, goes up top. Oh, man, Jake Hager, he comes out. He pushes Darby
Blue
Allin.
polo, gray slacks.
Yeah, pushes Darby Allin off the top rope. Darby puts him in, Jericho puts him in the walls. Darby submits. Can't do anything.
Well, he can't tap.
See, I understand
Stop it.
I understand the point of using the rope break prior to the lead of this finish. Yeah. It's just kind of nonsensical because there shouldn't be rope breaks in a street fight.
Is there anything where you can tape somebody's hands together and still have traditional rules in a match? I don't think there is.
No, there's not.
Yeah. So you got to have one or the other, man.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyways, the inner circle runs out. They got some bubbly with them.
And they celebrate.
With the bubbly. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. It was a fun show.
Liam Wagner was there last night.
Oh, cool.
He had
That's
a blast.
right.
He said it was a great time.
Good.
After the match, they had a Cody take on the little child who was dressed up like Orange Cassidy in the crowd.
Yeah, I know.
A big time match there.
Yeah, and
baby Orange Cassidy won.
He won over. Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't the only match that happened. It was like an 8-man tag match.
Right.
Would you like to answer some questions?
Would you like to answer some questions? Sure, why not? If you have AEW questions and you're in the chat doing super chats, whatever, now is the time.
Well, I'm going to read what we have here anyways. Minoru Suzuki realized today Finn Balor is older than Danny Burch. I honestly thought he was bloody 50. Finn Balor is what, 37?
Danny Burch isn't at least really? Wow.
I thought he was in his 40s.
That's shocking. I thought Danny Burch was like 130.
He is 37.
He's younger than us. Wow. I mean, I know we're old, but geez. I thought that's his whole gimmick.
Finn's 38.
Old. Wow.
Well, you assume that he's called the governor, then he'd be older. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kelly 88. Was I the only one who didn't know Santana in order? Oh, you read that already. Me from New York. Wang Choco says Russo.
Russo. He thinks this is overrun. Or non-news. Cody Miles says Santana and Ortiz should be called, the Inner Circle Enforcers. Ice. No. That's like a real sensitive topic to a lot of people, man. That's a terrible idea, Cody.
Joe Juarez, there seems to be a small biting fetish in AEW.
Yeah, we saw biting. Didn't like Marco? Oh yeah, was it the
Seto
Mieta thing?
Yeah, Marco bit him.
Bite it there, yeah.
Yeah. Again, Marsh 88, thank you so much again. Jen Lee accepted. AEW win-loss records, packages, and stories A+, but so many wrestling mistakes with so many wrestlers being new to TV. The WWE Impact veterans stand out.
I don't think it's that noticeable. I mean, sometimes you notice it. I don't think it's that I don't think it's distracting. I kind of disagree with that. Over here on the Patreon, you can get access to the Patreon QA thread wall thing for $1 a month. James Fletcher, Pentagon is the best heel in wrestling. Do you agree or disagree? Isn't he like too over to be a heel?
Yeah, I don't really consider him a full heel.
He's more like just an awesome tweener guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he doesn't really do anything good, like in terms of like altruistic.
But he doesn't cheat either.
No, he doesn't.
He's just really good and sometimes a little mean.
Yeah.
Or aggressive.
He's scary.
Jay White's got to be up there for best heel.
Sam. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I said Jay White. He's a really good heel.
Yeah, he's a good heel. People legitimately don't like him.
Chris Jericho would be in contention, but people just like him because he's Chris Jericho.
Yeah. MJF is like super face these days.
I know. He's not even trying to be heel
You know,
anymore.
who I forget who you should say this about. But like MJF is just morphed into, he's not a bad guy. He's just a bit of a D.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Not a bad guy. He's just kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
Which is like a great place to be.
Yeah.
He's so over, man.
Yeah, because when he
so
turns
good.
on Cody, oh, man.
It's going to be nuclear.
Yeah.
What if they never do that and they're always just expecting it? Here's the thing. He always has that moment of like reflection. When it happens, there will be no reflection. It's not going to be, oh, he thinks about it, and then he does it. That's what he does now. Mm-hmm. He's just going to do it. Mm-hmm. Sam Montgomery, you guys need to start watching BTE. The episodes are 15 to 20 minutes long, and their sound is a little better. I just use headphones if it's hard to hear. Why don't you guys watch it at the office? That's a good point, Sam Montgomery. Maybe we'll start. I always just miss it.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe I'll start watching it on the tail end of because like on Tuesdays, Power's on. Maybe I'll just watch it after Power.
Yeah, maybe.
Power's good, man.
Yeah, no, I need to check it out. So there's not enough hours in the day.
You'd enjoy it. And the cool thing about it, it's only 1 hour. It's only a single hour.
Sometimes it's like some days it's like I don't have
No,
an hour.
that's why I haven't watched Dark yet.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I'd like to, but we do stuff here. We got a fun video coming up on Saturday. That's gonna be fun. People are gonna like that.
Yeah. And I think the fun finale might go up on Saturday too if I can get it done in time.
Ooh. Adrian C. Does AEW have a women's division problem? The actual wrestling isn't on the level of NXT, and the roster is paper thin. It was supposed to be a focus for the company, but they appear to have dropped the ball so far. I will agree that we have not seen as much as I would like to see in the women's division on AEW. Is it a problem? It will be eventually. We're only on week 3. I think it could be. I want to see these characters get fleshed out. I want to see who's chasing what for what.
I think we just need more. We need more.
For sure. Andrew Jocelyn, who do you see holding their mid-card championship forced? I see Darby Allin holding that AEW TV title before he goes for the big one again.
Him or Scorpio Sky?
Scorpio Sky. It's got to be Scorpio Sky. He's going to be their Mr. Perfect. It's a good thing, though.
Well, it's not a bad position.
But eventually, it's Mr. Perfect if he actually won the world title.
I was going to say, he's got to go past best mid-card champion.
Yeah, I don't want him to be best guy to have never won the big title.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not what I think of him. Yeah. Anyways, let's see here. Big Strong Boy. Which 2 singles wrestlers on the AEW roster would you pair each other with? And then try to think of a team name for said
So
team.
we each have to pair up with an AEW roster member.
Would you pair each other with?
Oh, so I have to find someone for you.
Oh, yeah, I guess he is talking about us, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yours is easy. It's Pac.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
You're basically there anyways.
You'd be Orange Cassidy.
Just chill. Mm-hmm. Just sweatpants. Mm-hmm. Chill. Mm-hmm. I like it.
Yeah, I'm like 2/3 of the way becoming Bastard Pac, huh?
Basically, yeah.
I'm fine with that.
It'd be the team name would be Ann Pac.
Yeah. And Pac.
Yeah, you'd say it exactly. I told you how to say my name.
Yeah, it's Pac.
It's Pac.
Pac.
Ooh.
I think that's a bit. It's good.
Ooh.
Pac.
Are you mocking me?
Says you bastard.
You bastard. Thomas Dunnigan, do you think AEW even needs a mid-card title? Yes, I do.
Sure. Not yet. When they start bringing on, having people on a more regular basis, then yes.
Yeah, maybe not now.
No.
It would be too much if they did it now. Like 3 months.
Yeah.
What's after Full Gear? We don't know.
Unannounced. Probably something President's Day weekend, probably on the West Coast, I would
When's
suspect.
that, February?
Yeah.
Then, February.
No,
February.
it's going to be maybe at the next all-out show.
Library.
It's the soonest.
Library.
The soonest it would happen.
Let's see here.
Instead of sounding like it'd be cool if they can come up with some clever version of some mid-card title. Like a submission belt or something like that, you know?
TV title, man. TV title.
And that's probably what they
Yeah,
would
but
do.
here's the thing about a TV title. It's supposed to be defended every TV.
I know.
And that's just taking up space. You don't need to be defended every TV.
No, that's what I'm saying. Something creative.
The Dark title. But then wouldn't it only be on Dark? I don't want that either. I don't know.
Giving people more
call
reason.
it the freaking Intercontinental title. Why not?
No. Mid-card title. Let's call it mid-card title.
American title.
There you go.
Southern States title. Speaking of which, the one and only Just AJ wants to know, when is Jesse Gas being signed to AEW? And who would he feud with first?
Jesse Gas is past his prime. Sorry to tell you.
Nah, man, I'll take that AEW money. Absolutely. You know who I'd feud with first? Hangman's horse. You ever fought a horse?
I'm surprised you wouldn't take it to Luchasaurus right away.
Yeah, I'll take on a injured dinosaur. Why not? Sounds like a blast.
By the sounds of it, you wrestled plenty. By the sounds of it, you wrestled plenty of animals, Jesse. Not seeing you wrestle a dinosaur, however.
Sometimes inside the bedroom, bro.
Perhaps it's best we move on.
Yeah, Sleazy Mo. Don't mean to sound like a hater, but I don't like the Marco Stunt character. He plays his role well, but he's the smallest non-little person wrestler I've ever seen. Where is the line between being an underdog and being too unrealistic? Or is there a line at all? I mean, a lot of people say they're not in a Marco Stunt because they simply find him not believable.
All right, that's their prerogative.
Absolutely.
For me, it's a show.
I see the point.
If he was out there powerbombing everybody, I would agree with you. But it's
Right.
like 90% of his matches, he is getting thrown around.
So they got a guy out here who wrestled for Virgil Flynn a bunch called Big Rob Hands, right?
Yeah.
And he would do that. He would like the big men. He'd take on a guy like Cal, and Cal would have to sell that he's like a big guy.
Well, because he was pretty much his gimmick was Sid.
Yeah, right.
He'd come up to
yeah.
Sid's music.
Yeah.
That was his gimmick. That like in his head.
But he's really small.
Yeah, he's a small dude.
Yeah.
But his gimmick was that he was Sid essentially.
And
he was a large wrestler.
And for comedy value, it's very amusing.
Yeah.
That's not Marco Stunt.
Brutal Rob Hands. is his name.
Yeah.
Rob Hands.
Marco Stunt uses savvy to try to win matches.
Yes. But most of the time, he is getting thrown around the ring.
Yeah. And that's believable. He's getting thrown around the ring.
As you would expect.
Yeah. And so whenever he hits an offensive move, it's kind of shocking, and people mark out for it. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with that.
Totally.
Me personally, I'm okay with that.
He's not in there powerbombing.
He's not choke slamming people, man.
No. He's not powerbombing anybody.
Yeah.
It's all opportunistic offense. Mm-hmm. And that's totally cool.
Yeah. I'm fine with all
Yes,
that
I
stuff.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. He plays that specific role really well, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he does. I think he's really good at it. Yeah, my last little comment about AEW, man, is just I keep on going back because whenever we're like reading down things, the commentary, they need to get JR just gives too few Fs. That's the problem. And I feel like sometimes they get on Excalibur for doing a really good job.
I know.
And that bums me out. Part of me just wishes it was like Tony and Excalibur.
I know.
You know, because I feel like Shivani's kind of in a weird spot because I think Shivani would be really good with Excalibur, but JR's in there almost being like kind of resentful for Excalibur.
Well, I wonder part of it too is because we saw when JR first showed up, he was the play-by-play guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And that's Excalibur's role right now. JR is there as more as an analyst than anything else to kind of flesh out. It seems like the emotional undertones of the match. Mm-hmm. Excalibur's there is there to call the action.
Yeah,
because he's really good at it. He knows the names of all the moves and all the wrestlers.
and then whenever he calls a move that JR like the Piscato thing, I was annoyed so supremely with JR at that moment.
I know.
I'm like, you old man.
I know.
Stop. You know, this isn't for grumpy old men.
I know.
All right.
This show is all about youthful energy.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Why don't you just call it crossbody? What? Just shut up and do your job, JR.
I know.
You're not play-by-play.
I know.
Anyways. I mean, on one hand, sometimes it's entertaining, the cluster nature of it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, Excalibur's really good.
He's really good.
Yeah.
And Shivani's a really good play-by-play guy, too.
I know.
Maybe that's the issue is that you got three guys on there who are all naturally play-by-play guys.
Right, yeah.
And you really don't have the Corey Graves, the
Yeah.
Bobby Heenan,
Yeah.
the Jesse Ventura, not necessarily a heel analyst, but someone to flesh out the story apart from what moves are happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but some people, Lena Bliss here in chat says, "Are you crazy? Commentary is amazing." That's cool. I'm glad you enjoy it.
It's I don't necessarily have an issue with it. It's just a little awkward sometimes.
A little bit, yeah. And again, it's week 3. It is week 3.
By and large, when I'm watching AEW is at a time when my house is a bit crazy, so I don't hear a whole lot of the commentary.
Yeah.
A couple kids running around.
Yeah, Bama's
dinner
gone.
trying to be made.
My dad takes Bama, and so my AEW experience is pure and unfiltered. So yeah,
I don't get that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is. Look, and it's great to hear JR's voice, and it's great to hear Tony Schiavone's voice. And I'm a big Excalibur fan, so it is really good. And I think it's going to be the kind of thing where, like, a year from now, assuming they're all still there in their positions, they're going to have developed a bond and a chemistry, and it should be very entertaining.
Yeah. So they just all got to find their roles and what they do best, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, that's it for our AEW review. We have 2 other videos live right now. Who Won Wednesday, and then, of course, our NXT review. If you want to watch that, you can. They're on the channel right now. And, of course, they're on the podcast. Well, the reviews are going up on podcasts everywhere. The Who Won Wednesday. If you want that, you got to go to YouTube. You got to go to YouTube. It's like 8 minutes long. So thanks so much for watching. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.